right, go ahead.
Good timing. So, how does your preparation change at all with the quarterback situation?
Yeah, I think right now it's a day-to-day process. We'll see where we're at in a couple of days. But as far as getting the preparation going, it's still just the same thing we do every week. Get the game plan ready, anticipate who we think will be out there, and putting the guys in a position to, have success. So I think as far as the overall preparation, it's still ongoing.
I mean, do you have two game plans, one for each quarterback, or is it that?
I would say that as you get through the final week and then a decision is made, you kind of, whatever you have in your game plan, you get and say, hey, what are you comfortable with? And then I think you make your final decision when that decision is made.
What are some of I'm sorry. What are some of the things that can be done or you can do to kind of help out the offensive line a little bit?
Yeah, I think that if you just look, I would start off with saying, hey, I got to do a better job, and they got to play better, and I think they will. I think that we've done some things to try to get some help on the edges and stuff like that, but I think we just got to continue to find ways to how maybe we're sliding the line or things like that give them some help inside.
Hey Pete, if it is Jameis, what are some things that you think he really does that
Yeah, I think first, we'll be confident with however it ends up playing out. But I think that I think he pushes the ball downfield very well. I think that from a preparation and all that, he's going to be spot on, and everybody in that room's preparing as if they're playing.
Pete, with Derek, is it a matter of communicating with the medical staff a lot this week? Is it Derek communicating pain tolerance? How did you guys kind of find out when he's going to be ready?
Yeah, I think that really all happens between the head coach, the training staff, Mickey, and those guys. Just they keep us up to date day to day, but it's this is how they feel maybe, but it really doesn't get decided until Saturday, and they'll share that with us. But as far as the communication with me with the trainers or anything like that comes from the head coach.
Pete, another one of those basic level, just understanding questions. I think I've heard Cam Jordan complain 100 times over the years about quarterbacks who just throw the ball too quick for the pass rush to get there. What is the downside of running an offense like that?
Well, I don't think there's any downside of this. I mean, obviously you want to get the ball out, you want to find completions, and I thought, when you go back to the first half of that game against Green Bay, the first series we end up in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, and then the second series we go down and score, we stay manageable. Third series, we end up with 3rd and 9 or 10. I think it was 3rd and 10 the first, 3rd and 9 the third, and then end up with a sack. And so I think, and then the fourth series was the 2-minute drive. We go down, kick a field goal. So you look at it and you're saying, well, what are we doing on 1st and 2nd down? That's not helping us get into manageable 3rd down situations. And so, maybe that's the opportunity where you're having a chance to get balls out, get them out quick, put yourself in manageable positions. When you're 3rd and long, well, sometimes you're having to hold the ball for routes to develop downfield, and that's what we're trying to avoid.
And then the success on 1st down runs and the running game in general, is that obviously?
Yeah, that needs to be better. And I'll take the blame to start, and then but I feel confident in those guys. They've done it before, and so again we got a challenge again this weekend with the Tampa Bay defense. So we'll have to be spot on.
Pete, how frustrating is that?
Excuse me?
How frustrating is that though that the offense can't really get going?
Yeah, well, obviously it starts with me, and so we got to get that going, and I'll put that on my shoulders.
Yeah, that last drive, it's after the 1st down run. It seemed like they let the clock run. They didn't take the timeout. Did that affect kind of the decisions to throw there? Because they were basically planning to keep a timeout in their pocket either way.
You're asking about the end of the
final 3 plays.
Final 3
plays. To the kick where you threw on 2nd down, threw on 3rd down, and they let the clock run after 1st down, which I thought was a little unusual.
Yeah, I think that at that point we would have liked to have gotten it closer than we did.
Yeah.
I think that we would have liked to gotten it closer and really had one more 1st down to make them have to use all their timeouts and then maybe let it run down so we have a closer kick with that. But I think that for us, we got the 1st down and we felt at that time, hey, let's run it and see what happens. And unfortunately, we didn't get any yardage on that first run with Taysom there, and so that kind of made a decision as to what we were doing. Going forward.
The decision for them to go for 2 on that first touchdown, obviously that's a more popular thing.
Yes.
What is kind of your take on that strategy?
Well, I I think anytime the head coach tells us to be ready for that situation to come up, we'll be ready for it. And I think, like you said, I think more and more teams are doing it, and I think more teams are having success with it.
Hey, Pete, I asked you this last week, but what's it been like having Alvin back?
Oh, I'm happy. It's a good thing, and obviously he's been a big part of what we've done here over the years, and we're planning on continuing that. But it's exciting to have him back.
Sorry, Pete.
Okay.
Has it been like an organizational principle for y'all to have a capable number 2 that you can trust, just considering what you kind of had to deal with these last couple of years?
Yeah, I think that we've always felt good about the guys that are in the building, and obviously someone like Jameis has experience, and he's won a lot of games in this league, and so I think that there's a comfort level there.
I think Todd Bowles has said, when asked about preparing this week, that he's just going to prepare for the Saints offense because there's not enough of a difference between the way Carr and Winston play in this offense to worry about that. Do you agree?
Well, I think that overall probably he's talking about very similar concepts, and then I think that as you reduce the game plan at the end of the week, you kind of pick what their favorites are, and there might be a majority of those plays that they both like, and so I think there's little wrinkles, maybe a couple adjustments that you make, but I think that as we put this plan together, whoever goes out and has to execute it, we're going to be positive.
How would you characterize Tampa Bay's defense and the history they've had? They've got a lot of veterans that have been in the system a while under Todd. What's unique about that defense?
Well, I think their pressure package, as far as guys that are dogging and blitzing, it's a high pressure percentage team. I think that's one of the most unique things about them is the unique pressures that they bring. You see a lot of different looks from their defense. I think it's always been a great tackling defense, a defense that gets up and challenges, it takes the ball away. But I think from their pressure package and with their doggers, blitzers, they blitz a lot of safeties. I think that's been unique to this defense.
When you look at, there's a possibility, when you look at, I know you work with a lot of quarterbacks and stuff, so I was just curious about your opinion on this. Mayfield and Winston, if he plays, they have some similarities in that they're both Heisman winners, #1 overalls. Neither one are with their first team. They're still, trying to, I guess, fulfill their potential after several years in the NFL. But is it hard to necessarily say that they have plateaued, or what do you say about?
Well, I would talk just about Jameis from my personal experience, and I think that he's had success in this league. We got to find the ways to put him in those positions to do the things that he's had success with. So I think I'm very comfortable with him if that ends up being the situation that we have to go with. But and I'll only comment on him really.
Yeah. Just generally from all your experience in 20 years, have you seen instances where quarterbacks took, half a decade or so to really figure it out?
Well, I think that there's probably a lot of situations where it's unique to every guy. Every guy's different. I think that even if you go back to Drew, I think that early in his career in San Diego, he'll tell you he was benched a few times, but then all of a sudden it just clicked. And I think that can be unique to every guy.
We've seen a lot of like Mike and Rashid and Olave, having a lot of the target share there. Do you want to see more going to guys like Juwan and out of the backfield, or is that just kind of a product of how it's
I would love to have more opportunities for Juwan. I think that we've had him do some things in protection the last couple of weeks that have maybe given a little help before. So I think that maybe can hinder some progress. But obviously, he's a guy that we want to get the ball in his hands.
When you're calling screens, how much is dependent upon your offensive line and their ability?
Yeah, I think that if you just want to refer to the 2 screens last week that we had, there was we thought the first screen had some potential. We thought we had the numbers, but it wasn't just from their perspective. I think there's things that we're coaching up with the quarterback where maybe the ball we had to throw it over a guy, so the ball got a little bit further than you wanted to. Something with the receivers on the outside. So I think it comes from every position, and but getting the ball in the guy's hands and starting with the offensive line, those guys getting out and getting on their targets is what starts it.
And then the ability of the back. Alvin obviously has had great success doing it.
Yeah, the
You
ability to
gonna call
back.
about
Yeah,
screens this week? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
no.
No, I mean, but he does have a skill, talent, ability for that. I mean, Pierre was.
Yeah,
famous
Pierre
for
was
that,
real.
right?
Yeah, and I think part of that is just their feel to get the ball in their hands, and then they're just having a feel of where the O-line blocks might be or whoever's blocking on the perimeter, and then being able to hit the landmark. Okay.
All right,
Thank you all.
Appreciate
All right.
it, man.
Okay.